We did some cleaning on this stuff here, but it's getting blustery out here, but we're gonna see if we can get this gasket off. This, I think I changed, you know, I might not have changed it last time because you can see that little groove in there. It's hard to reseal that, but I may have it. Let's see if we can get this one out. Sometimes it becomes a big chore. You gotta soak it and work at it, but let's just see what happens. I have a couple tools. I have a little pointer, little crackety flathead, a little bigger flathead. So let's just see if we can maybe work this little flathead underneath. And loosen it up. Let's try to pointy it. Oh, it's kind of lifting up. Let's see if maybe I can, because it fits underneath this little rim right here. This little rim right there. See that? Yeah. But sometimes they don't come out easy. As you can see, you got to kind of, if you get chunks, you're pretty happy. Because sometimes you just get powder and you really have to work. I'm going to see if I can get back in that little, to clean that up too. I cleaned these. I didn't soak, you see when I did my soaking. So, all right, preparation is there. We're going to go on for more of these adventures. But yeah, look at that. Heating element gasket out. You can see those remnants of the gasket prior to that one. That one came out pretty easy, but you can see I've been cleaning it out slowly but surely. You know, it just comes out as this black powdery residue. That's the last bit can be hard to do. I'm not worried about the little scratches because they're not really penetrating the brass because I have a soft metal. You know, a flathead screwdriver is really tending to work the best right now, but yeah, I got most of it off, you can see, and I'm just working on, but that's why it never sealed good. There was too much leftover gasket, just that little bit, but there we go. We're working that thing out, and then it's going to go. We have our new flat gasket. That's going to go in here. The one thing to always remember is there's a little tiny slot under the rim that it goes into. So that freaks people out because it doesn't seem to fit, but you go on. I haven't done one of these in a while. Let's see if I can still do it. We're just going to work this baby around. And I'm going to get this side I got in, I'm going to tuck that back in as I go. Because in the end, you're going to have a tiny little dimple there. And that's going to freak you out a little bit if you haven't done it before. And we're just going to keep going. And it's going to get right to the edge again. And right when you get there, let's push that baby in. Oop. So I get it all around. I have it tucked in everywhere. And then we still have the little dimple there. And that's going to be the last and the hardest piece, but it's pretty pliable. So once you push it down, and just make sure you have it in there. See, it just pops right in. And then what I do is I go around pushing like this and make sure it's tucked in. Some people soak them a little. This one was pretty pliable. I've never really soaked them, but that's an option too. So I think we have a pretty good seal there. We have it in the lip all the way around, so that's how they go on. They have that little nub there. So that's a good step, and we're just going to inspect it one more time. Might be a little spot right there. And we're just going to push that if we see it. Yeah, we're pretty good. So I'm just going in, what I'm doing is I'm looking under that to see the little gap, which is kind of hard between that. But if you look close, you can make sure you have a good seat. So I think we're pretty good here. So we're going to be able to put this baby on. Let's go do it. All right, we're ready. We got that baby. We got our new ring. This one's from Tudor. You can see this is the old one. Let's bring them over. They're kind of cheap and rackety. Usually you can't get them on. The threads aren't that good on them. And usually you can only, once you take them off, they're hard to reuse. Sometimes you reuse a bit, but they're not that great. But excellent coffee sensor. Tudor over there makes these rings, and I'm lucky enough to have a couple that are the replacement for that, but they're made out of stainless steel, so much more robust. So that's the one we're going to use, which is nice. We get to replace that. Boiler's all up. We got our little spacer gaskets. Make sure you get the base in the right direction. One gasket goes on. Pretty simple. Base goes on. Make sure it's facing right. That's kind of the trick. I'm pretty good at eyeballing it. Sometimes you try so hard and it doesn't go. And of course you have your other spacer. That's going to go here. Right? And now we have our element too. But first, before that, the locking ring goes on. So let's see how these thread. I haven't used one yet. Sometimes with these fine threaded boilers, you have to go backwards a minute to get, but look at this one, starts really well. Threads are really good on them. So we can use our handy dandy homemade tool also. Fits right on them. Let's just bring this baby down. Those other ones sometimes just spin when you get to the bottom because they don't go all the way. But this one's really good. We're almost there. We'll see how these work. There we go. Now we're tightened up. What I'm going to do is eyeball right between these two and the tag, and you know, sometimes you're pretty darn good at it. There we go. So we got this is snug, but we're going to give it a good tighten with the bar now, because that's probably the hardest part here. And you hope that the base doesn't move while you do that tighten. Let's see how we go. I find these work upside down better too, because they do slip off a little. There we go. Realign. Nope, that's moving this slow, is it? Sometimes I would do is I put it up against my let's move this over here, and then you can put it up against you to keep it from moving for your final. Tweak down. And we're staying pretty darn good. I think we are. Yeah. So we're pretty good there. Let's maybe see if we can get a little tighter. Better tighten now than later. There we go. Okay. How's that? So that step's done. Is pretty darn tight. We got a pretty good alignment. Let's just see if we can move over here. But I'm pretty good. They look really good, so those are an excellent thing. If you're doing this, order one of those from Tudor and have an extra one going while you do this. All right, we'll go ahead and put the element on. God, we look pretty good. Sometimes I'm good at eyeballing, sometimes not, but there she is. We got the gasket, we did all that. So let's see how she goes. Well, it starts pretty good, but you can see how sometimes on these you can feel a little tightness. We're going to see how far we can get this hand tight first. See how it kind of binds up, so Let's get, yeah, there we are. Let's get the Big Daddy on that. Line it up. Work it on. Big breaker bar. I think last time I did one of these, I didn't have this bar to tighten it. But then again, I didn't take the old gasket all the way off, so that kind of boofed it. I think we're doing good because the locking ring holds it in, but oops. Yeah. This is just a cheap little thing, but it works good. You can do stuff without a lot of fancy tools. We're getting a little spin on that, but God, it's going pretty good. So I don't know if this makes any difference, but I sometimes go to the other side of it and push there. I don't know if that really makes a difference, but it's just a weird thing I do. Oh, that's in there. I think that's pretty good. Let's try one more. See if we can get it to move just even the tiniest bit. Okay. I think we got that baby on there. Yeah. This tool pays off. It's heavy. And then one thing I wanted to test is my homemade locking ring. Yes, you can. So if you ever need to loosen on these cap elements, the little locking ring down there, one of these does fit over the element and onto that ring. So you could redo this and line it up if we need to. So great, we got that part done. So we'll just pop this back off and go inside and we'll do the rest of it. Partially Excellent. Back together. We got a new doohickey for the cord, and we're doing the sight glass test, but I think I'm going to need a new gasket set because I had just that old one. It was pretty rankety, but the bottom's on. Looking pretty darn good. So let's go ahead and do a little water test on this. But these are old, the old gaskets, and they didn't look good at all. So I actually had it on and off 2 or 3 times and tried to see if I could get it to seal, but I need new gaskets there. There it is. Yeah, see? It's going. I can't really. It's not sealing no matter what I do. So anyway, that's just one little thing. We're going to have do a little ordering fun. We're going to order new gaskets. And I had a couple of glasses, outer diameter the same on both, same length, but the glass is thicker on this one than this one overall, but the outsides, everything else is the same. And I'm going to order another set of gaskets. These just aren't going to seal. So we've done pretty good. So we'll have one more show. I was hoping to run this one now, but we'll do one more. I'm going to go on there. We'll order some stuff, probably 2 sets of gaskets. We need a couple switches, and I think that's all I need, but I'll see what's going on. But yeah, there we go. We made it this far. There's always something to tackle, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're going to be on an episode 4 for this one, and the good old green machine's going to be running again. Next one for sure. So let's order some stuff and have some fun. Or we better do it this way if you're anyone from England sees. See you later.